Hello and welcome to the pilot episode of the Epic Travels podcast. I'm your host, Epic Phil. You probably know me from my vlogs on YouTube, but if you don't, welcome aboard. And right after this music, I'm going to explain what this is all about.
Welcome all. This is the Epic Travels podcast. Please be aware there may be some bad words in the episode. Now that we are ready, let's get epic.
So, what are we about? Well, it's very simple. I do a lot of vlogging on YouTube and shorts on TikTok, Epic Phill Travels, where I go to places like Tenerife a lot, and Orlando, Florida, where I tour you around hotels, restaurants, take you for lives and all that sort of stuff. What's great in everything, used to think, but I want to try something a little different, meta, may we say. Is that still an in word? Who cares? So what I'm doing here is I'm starting this podcast. The idea of this podcast is very, very simple. So the best way to explain is that I'm going to read the boring blurb quickly. So get ready for this. Epic Travels is your go-to travel diary podcast where the host, Epic Phill, that'd be me, dives into reasons behind his journeys around the globe, from unforgettable vacations to hilarious travel fails. Each episode features special guests from fellow travelers, podcasters to YouTubers and local business owners like bars and restaurants now. Expect real stories, expert tips and inside recommendations on where to go, what to do, and why you should care. Whether it's a buzzing bar in Spain or the latest news from Orlando, Florida, it's travel talk with personality, passion, and plenty of laughs. It ain't just that, there's going to be some special diaries for me when I'm in Orlando, Florida, where is my next break. And on them, we're going to basically give you raw and real. So there may be some F bombs in that. There may be some laughter, maybe some crying, there may be some arguments, but there's going to be raw reasons you want to listen because I'm going to tell you what I honestly think. But before we go any further, the only way this is going to work is if you help me out. So if you're watching or listening to this on YouTube, and by the way, if you're an Epic Phill Travels member on YouTube, these will drop to you before anyone else. So you will get to them. So go and check out my membership tiers. There's only two, and you will be able to get hold of these podcasts before anybody else. Obviously on YouTube, if you're seeing us here or listening to us here, subscribe to Epic Phill Travels, press that bell notification so you know when the vlogs and the podcast drops. Also, do me a favor, this will push them out a lot more and help me grow a little bit. Like the videos and comment, and obviously tell your friends and family about it. Now, people in the podcast world who's listening in their ears, thank you very much. I know not everyone can sit at home with YouTube, so this is another reason that I started this. Please go to your favorite podcast app and give me the most epic review you can. Why is that? Yet again, exactly same with them. It pushes the podcast out more and pushes it higher up the ranks, what could help out on the long run. So, shall we get into the show? What is this episode all about? It's my trip September to Orlando, Florida. I'm going to tell you who I'm flying with, what family is coming, the big bads, what could be involved with this trip, where we're staying, what we're doing, and how long we plan to stay for. Now, I hope you enjoy this. So get yourself a drink, some popcorn, and let's get into this. Well, obviously, I'm not going to give you exact dates and that really when I'm flying out. Come on, it's kind of obvious why you wouldn't want to fucking do that in the first place. The good thing is for me, my house where I do live and my family members, lucky enough, every single house is covered. Someone is staying in all these different houses, not the same person, unless they can split into four different people. Be some mutant powers there, wouldn't it? So here we go. So we are flying obviously from London Gatwick. Why do we fly from there? Plain and simple. Most of us live right next to it, so it's nice and easy. And the other two who don't live next to it, it's actually still their nearest airport. I'm not yet again giving where people live, obvious reasons. Again, even though like, some of you already know where I live, but it doesn't matter. As I said, people are staying at house, so it's brilliant. Now we're going to be, I think, Gatwick South Air Terminal, flying British Airways. Now, I know a lot of people prefer Virgin. I don't actually understand why. I don't see the hype with Virgin personally. When you have an upgraded British Airways plane, it's just as good as a Virgin. I have heard that Virgin are starting that Skynet, whatever it's called, internet thing with Elon Musk, and the internet's going to be phenomenal. But come on, people, you don't think the other airlines are going to do the same? Of course they are, but not this one. But I don't really care. Really, I don't. So we're flying from Gatwick to MCO, what is Orlando International Airport, if you're new to this, people. Now, how many of us going? Let's start with the story of this. Originally, there was five of us going, and we're under the assumption this is going to be me mother's last time out to Orlando, Florida. So we've gone big with this one. We're actually going to stay at the Villatell Orlando Resort, but more about that soon. So five of us were going, and then one day I just went round my brother's house, one of my brothers, because let's talk about the five who's going first, because I'm just skipping stuff because it's the first time I've done a podcast on a long time on my own. Five of us was me mum, my eldest brother, my great niece, my eldest brother's mate, and obviously me. That makes five for the people who can't count. Then one day we went around my other brother's middle brother, Rick. We went round his, and my niece and my great niece are basically a year apart in age. So they were playing with each other, and it come up about Orlando. My brother, Rick, goes to me, do you want to think Casey might want to come? I felt quite bad at this point. He was right. I should have really asked, but I didn't. It's start of a school year. I didn't think he'd be the same as us, the fines and that. So I said, if you want, I'll go home, I'll have a look at prices, and I'll get her into our hotel. Run up British Airways. This is the funny thing, 'cause I'm not telling you prices on this. It's just not worth it. We run up British Airways. The price was bloody high for everything we had. I added her on, had to do her flight, and then they add her to the resort we're staying in, was the Villatell, obviously. It took £300 off the whole trip. So in fact, her flight was paid for. Then I started noticing that the trip, because it'd been upgraded and the hotel had to be upgraded, at first, resort fees weren't included with British Airways because the Villatell Orlando Resort is new, and we are going to get into reviews of that soon. Little video is going to come up for you, YouTubers. Some of you will hear it, so you can see the Villatell on this video, and then we're going to do reviews. Free great, free bad. By the way, that's an idea for future episodes on hotels and that. We're going to do review episodes like that. Free great, free bad, and I'm just going to get them off of TripAdvisor and. It's going to be places at first that I've been to because I know how people bitch and moan saying you can't say that. Well, you can because it's not my reviews, but who cares? So it took 300 quid off. As I said, we then clocked that the resort fees were also in the fee. That's like another 250, £300 off. Because unfortunately, you've got to check when you book the Villatell, whoever you're booking it through. We book through British Airways Holidays, if the resort fees are added or not. Otherwise, that's a horrible thing to come out and pay. So rang up my brother and I said, listen, I can add her if you want me to. Yeah, yeah, do it, do it. Done. Like that. Within 24 hours, there were five of us going. Then there were six of us going. And now there's bloody nine of us going. My dad did me brother a little favour, gave him a bit of money, help him out, pay for it. And now my brother's come in with his wife and his youngest daughter, Marnie. More in Marnie in a minute, autism and all that stuff. So I'm going to bring all that sort of stuff up on here as well to help people who may have family members with things like that. So we booked them. What my dad did, he basically paid for the hotel and that, and he said, "So how much it's going to cost?" I gave him a cheap option, Rosen Inn closest to Universal. I gave him Dockside in Universal Endless Summer Resort. Cheap plug, Universal Endless Summers Resort. I run a group, and I will try and put that in the show notes if you'd like to join that group on Facebook. Over 20,000 members, and it's a bloody great group, if I say so myself. And then the Villatell, cheap plug. I also run what seems to be the only group on Facebook right now for the Villatell. It's obviously unofficial, Villatell Orlando Resort. When I get there in September, that group's going to be vibing with photos, videos, and obviously there's going to be YouTube, loads of vlogs of this resort to help people out in the future. Because Villatell, I love your resort. It looks beautiful, but damn, your promotional stuff it just doesn't do what people need, especially people on long stays. You don't give enough information. So I go to my dad, it's going to cost this much, going to cost this much, going to cost this much. Rosen cheapest, dockside, the most medium one. Good hotel, I think. Stay at them all the time. It's usually Surfside though. And then Villatell Orlando Resort. Now I'm in a 4 bedroom villa with my mum and that, so we've got the pool, the barbecue, and all that stuff. And I said to my brother, you might as well have a 2 bedroom condo. No pool in that, but they can come across and use our one if they choose to. What's fine. And I was thinking my dad ain't gonna pay that money for that. Top man, he did it. He gave him a 2 bedroom condo, plain and simple. He said, I'd rather have the whole family together in the same resort. It was about 20-minute walk to Dockside, in all fairness. So maybe it was the right idea. Also because of Marnie, what I alluded to earlier. Marnie is autistic. Now she is getting better. She's 5 years old. She used to be non-verbal. She is verbal now. She is starting to talk, coming out of her shell. One of Marnie's things is how she copes, and a lot of people wouldn't want to see it. I'm not going to say it on here because I haven't had permission from her parents, but I'm not sure if people can cope with it at the main pool area. Yes, the Villatell, we'll get into that, has a main pool and many more things, but we're on Marnie. So I said, you're in the 2 bedroom condo, come across and use our villa pool whenever you want. Give them the code to the door and that's not a problem. They come in and out as much as we're family, aren't we? So that Marnie things. And if any of the villas are next door, up yours. I couldn't give a damn. We will explain to you. If you can't handle that, I will be typical Southern British and tell you to go fuck yourself. I will be nice at first. As you see on the vlogs, I'm always nice. But in real life, when it comes to real life matters, I will go into protection mode. Nice first, but once you go over that line, go fuck yourself. Um, so I don't want to be dark or all this and that. So that's what we're doing. So I have rang British Airways and I've put it on the notes that Marnie's on the plane and what's going on with her. They understand fully. We're all near each other on the plane as well, what makes it a lot easier. We are flying economy. Oh, can't afford that business class, first class stuff. My YouTube channel's too small for that. I ain't no night strider, and I certainly ain't as rich as Gaz from the Incredible Wiltons or Simon, my mate, or Craig, the greatest train driver in the whole of the UK. Craig, go and check out all his podcasts: Universal After Dark, Diz After Dark, Morlando. Um, and many more. There is a Halloween one, but I always forget it. And he forgets it as well. So it's not my fault. Craig, you have 6,000 podcasts, but Craig is a diamond guy at podcasting. Talking about podcast, I also, plug, you should have a shot every time I down that. I have a podcast with Simon and my mate Joe. It's called the Halloween Horror Events Podcast, where we basically talk Halloween Horror Nights, which is at Universal Studios, Florida. What we're going to get into a lot later on. So I've told British Airways, I've rang the Villatell up. Now, this was the interesting thing with the Villatell Orlando Resort. I rang up for 2 reasons. Well, 3 reasons. One, my brother's birthday, special number, big old 50. About Marnie to get that in there as well. And I can't remember the other thing all of a sudden now. I rang up for 3 things, but I've lost my train of thought there. And so as I said, I noticed on the British Airways voucher that we have got resort fees included now. So I rang up Villatell. The first lady, a trainee, didn't have a clue, couldn't even find my booking, found my cancelled one, what had been changed by British Airways. A lovely lady afterwards actually rang me back from America. And I know you're thinking, how's he affording ringing America? I'll get to that in a second. She rang me back, a lovely lady called Crystal. She went through it all with me, found my bookings and everything. And I said, oh, do you know my bookings that resort fees are included? No, no, sir. We don't know about your result fees. Get really ready for really bad American accents. As far as we understand, you have to pay them when you get here. No, we don't. It's part of our booking. Results fees already in the payment. She wasn't horrible. She actually turned around and said, "Let me check into this. Get into someone who's higher up in the company. I'll get back to you." She didn't. I gave it 2 weeks. I think I rang them back. She still wasn't sure. But I said to her, would it be a good idea for me to send over the PDFs of the booking vouchers so you can see this on there? And she goes, absolutely, because if we see it, we know it's legit. So sent them across within a day or two from email, obviously, to Villatell. They got back to me. Boom. Yes, your resort fees are included. Thank God. Thanks for telling us, because not all of us knew about this new deal. Could you imagine showing up, them asking for a resort fee and you're getting it free? 9 hour flight. We've got an afternoon flight out from the UK, so it's quite late night. We show up. Children, ratty. Oh no, it would have been an absolute nightmare. So thank God that is all sorted. Now with the Villatell, what I understand, if you're staying in one of the villas, I think they start at 4 bedrooms and go up to 9 or 12 bedrooms. The 4 bedrooms doesn't have the arcade room. It has one arcade, but the bigger ones have arcade rooms. I think from 6 onwards, you also have a jacuzzi and the arcade, and the real big ones have cinema rooms and everything. So if you've got that type of money, do it. But as I said, what I understand with the Villatel, at first, with the villas, I think about 7 days before, you get an email telling you what villa you're staying in and the code for the door so you can get in and out. Problem with the condos is you have to go to front reception checking, because I think they're run by the Hyatt of the condos. Very peculiar. But you have to go to there and then do what would be a normal hotel procedure, booking yourself in. That's not really the biggest problem, but still annoying. So what we're going to do with my brother's stuff, we're going to get dropped off right at the villa, put his stuff in there, and then I'll walk down with him with the passports and that, I presume, and check him in to his condo. So that's a little bit about the Villatell. Now, I did say on this episode that I was going to go into reviews and show you videos. Well, I'm going to split these episodes up. I don't want them to be super long. It's come to me while making this. So what I'm going to do is the next episode will be about the Villatell, the quick show around, talk about what you've got and all that stuff there. My great group, what facilities are there, where it's based on International Drive. Get into the reviews, the three really good ones, the three awful reviews. Why not? Another episode after that, we're going to be talking about the theme parks we're going to. What I'll quickly tell you on this one, what we are going to, is pretty much Universal Studios only. We're not doing Disney. I think my brother's thinking of booking one day for Disney. I'm not interested. If I get the money quick enough and the dates are there still, I may do a Mickey's Not So Scary if it's not sold out, but I'm not too sure about that yet. We are literally only Universal Studios. Some have got 1 day booked for Epic. Some of us got 2 days booked for Epic Universe. Obviously, me and my brother, we're annual pass holders. Everyone else is on 14-day tickets from UK sites, obviously. So Universal Studios and Islands of Adventure and Volcano Bay, they've got what's going to be pretty cool for them. The other reason we're there, we got one night at SeaWorld, but that's for Halo Scream, what we're going to do. And I will bring that up in another episode as well. That'll be mixed in with the Universal episode, obviously. And bit I love doing every year, and while we go in September, Halloween Horror Nights. We're doing that this year, and I, for one, cannot wait for that. On the next episode as well, I also really want to tell you what is the plans, what we plan to do for the 3 weeks. Some things that we're umming and ahhing about as well, because not everything is that easy to do. Now, this is about, I'm going to say, just under 20 minutes long, this episode. Hope you enjoyed it. The next one will come out literally 2 or 3 days after this. That is the plan. And the next one, 3 days maybe. And then there'll be a few weeks until I go away and the diary ones will start. So if you've got this far, thank you very much yet again on YouTube. Comment down below. Love chatting with everybody. Like the video, subscribe, it's free. Any podcast app you're listening on to as well, hopefully this is on most podcast apps as you are listening. I've just noticed that my green screen has let me down somewhere. My arm's been there the whole time. Not to worry about it, who cares? But yeah, please, on any podcast app, give me a great review. Go and check out my vlogs, Epic Phill Travels on YouTube and all that jazz. My green screen is really mucking up and I need to figure out what the hell is going on for the next episode. It was working fine until literally this part. So people, thank you for watching and listening. Safe travels. See you on the next episode of Epic Travels Podcast.